Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Krsnatarian way of cooking. I am Radhika Pyari Devidasi and today I am going to share with you one of the ways to prepare burger buns. The sauce recipe and on how to prepare the inside filling also I am going to share with you briefly in this recipe. So let's look into the recipe. So I have taken first in this mixie bowl around 1 and a quarter cup of water. Try to use little lesser water in the beginning so that the dough doesn't becomes too sticky. So that's why I've taken only 1 cup and quarter cup of water along with it. And I've added around 1 tablespoon of sugar and then around 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons of oil with it. This is olive oil. I'm going to show you a vegan way of making this buns. You can even use butter if you want to. Then I have added around 1 tablespoon or 1 full packet of yeast. This is actually a quick rising yeast where you don't need proofing. Now I've taken around 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which is also called as maida. When you sieve the flour, it gives a more softer dough. So that's why I've done that. Now I've taken around 1 tablespoon of salt and I'll start mixing it. So eventually you have to increase the speed. Make sure that the dough is nicely kneaded. This kneading took me around 5 minutes. The more you knead the dough, the more gluten will get activated. So this is the soft texture you need of the dough. Not too sticky, not too hard. That's what we need for the buns. Now I'm going to remove this dough out. Now I'll place this dough in a bowl which is greased a little bit with olive oil, and then I will cover it with a saran wrap. The heat of the saran wrap, which because it is made up of plastic, it will actually generate more heat and the dough will rise faster. And then I will keep it near a warm place. I generally keep my dough inside the oven, keeping the lights on of the oven, and that creates a lot of heat. So this took me around 45 to 50 minutes to help this rise. You can keep it for around 1 hour or 1.5 hours, but my dough already had risen, so I just removed it. So now I'm going to cut this dough into 2 parts. Now because I was making a jumbo burger bun, I used only this much division, but you can actually divide this one dough into more halves. That's not a problem. So now I have taken each of the portion and turned it around like this. Just make sure you knead it well and then make it smooth top surface and roll it in this manner. Place all these balls on a tray which is lined by parchment paper. Always place a parchment paper. This will help the dough once it's cooked into a bun not to stick on the tray directly. So I have again greased with some olive oil these buns. You can actually nicely spread this olive oil. You can even use butter if you are not making it in vegan manner. Now I'll keep these balls aside to rise for another 45 minutes. In one of the buns, I have kept one bun to be small for my daughter. So don't worry about the size of it. Only one bun is small. Now I'll be keeping it aside, as I said, for around 45 to 50 minutes. And this is here, the dough has risen pretty well. And by this time I have also kept the oven on heat for 350 Fahrenheit. This preheat will always help your bun to become nice and soft and cook evenly. So while my oven is heating, I have applied some sesame seeds, roasted sesame seeds on top of it. This is optional if you want to do it, not a problem if you don't want to do it. Time to put them in the oven. Now I baked this buns for around 20 minutes and they turned out perfect. This is exactly what we want. The buns should be evenly cooked, and once they have cooked, they are actually very hot. Now during this time, when they are hot, you can little bit brush with some olive oil or butter. This will help to add some fat on the buns and also help with the smoothness on the top texture, and this will also make your bun softer. Now I'll show you how to make the sauce for it. This is a non-vegan sauce, so I've used a little bit of butter. This is like around half cup of butter, and then I have used around 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. The heat should be on extremely low, and you have to continuously stir this flour to cook it. This is just for around 2 minutes, and then after that I'm going to add whipping cream to it. So now I have added around 1 cup of in total the whipping cream, and gradually I have added it because I wanted to make a lot of sauce. I cooked this cream for around 3 to 4 minutes on low heat, and then after that I added this cheddar cheese. Now if you do not have cheddar cheese, you can even use the regular mozzarella cheese, not a problem, but cheddar cheese adds a kick to it, so that's why I have added the cheddar cheese. And then I am cooking this on extremely low heat, just making it smooth. If you feel at any point that the cream is less and the cheese is not melting properly, then you can even add a little bit more cream, not a problem. You can add it from top. It just eventually gets cooked in. So here you go, I have added again a little bit more cream because I felt at that time that the cheese was not moving smooth. Now here I have used around 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. This is one of the very freshest paprika you can get. It is actually paprika which has been smoked in charcoal, nothing else. So that's why it gives this smoky flavor to your sauce. Now I added some jalapenos in this. This is also optional, but if you want a little bit spicy kick, then you can add that. Then I have added around 1 teaspoon of white pepper powder to it. Now you can even use salt in this particular dressing. I did not use it because the cheese already has so much salt and I don't like the sauce to be too salty. So now I'm going to start slicing the tomatoes. Now here I've used actually wine tomatoes. These are very juiciest tomatoes and they give a very good flavor. So these are some dill pickles. They are actually pickles from the west, so they are baby cucumbers which are kind of fermented. This is my homemade tomato basil sauce. If you want recipe of this, then please write to me in the comment section. Here I also found in the store a no onion no garlic tomato basil sauce, so you can also use something like this if you can find that. So now here the buns are nice and cooled down at room temperature. Now here I have prepared some homemade patties. These are actually Indian style patties with potatoes and peas and other veggies. I have actually coated it with soy granules and made this patties, so please let me know if you're interested in this patties recipe as well. I will actually share with you. So after the buns were cooled down nicely, I actually sliced them. This is how your buns need to be looked. That's why the cooling down of the buns is very important. So now I'm going to spread the cheese sauce which I had made and with the homemade tomato basil sauce which I had prepared, both of them, and then I'll just place a tomato, then this patties, some of the pickles, and a lettuce leaf. Now this is just my way of adding the filling. You can use your imagination and your creativity and add the toppings you want to add. Some people also add paneer patty or paneer strips to it or tofu, so you can do all that stuff. I'm just showing you a basic way of doing it. So I will just prepare all the buns like that and I'm going to add it in this manner. Now if you are also interested in seeing the video of how I make the burger balls smaller and then allow it to rise it for 2 hours or 1.5 hours, that one is a more softer bun. It's like less filling in the stomach and it will give a kind of a little different texture than this one. So like this, after I prepared all the buns, I will place them on a plate. So this is how my jumbo burgers look like. So I hope you liked watching this video. If this is the first time you are coming across this channel, then please subscribe to it and get connected. This recipe, if it has attracted you and you want to try it, then do leave your comments in the comment section. Any queries or doubts you have, I will be happy to answer them. If you're already a Bhakti Yoga practitioner or interested in the path of Bhakti Yoga, then you can check out my other channel called Radhika Pyari Devi Dasi. And now I will be placing a tulsi leaf and offering this at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna.